very much a St. Martin, if you want to define just who he is. At least he would say that for himself. It's good to have him. We would be talking to him throughout the hour, and hopefully we would be able to share some most important thoughts. So without any further ado, let me welcome JC in and say a special good morning to you, young man. Good to have you.
Randall, pleasure. Good morning to you. Thanks for the invitation. A long time wait invitation, but finally, decide to come the first Sunday for 2026. Once again, to all the best and happy New Year to the radio listeners and to this radio frequency, and also to the obviously social medias them who are available.
Well, listen, I mentioned at the start how much you have many a times we've had conversation and you've
Correct.
filtered
Yes.
many
Correct.
ideas as
Correct.
to some observations that you've had. And I know St. Martin is very much deep within your psyche, and you care about this country to the point where everything you share has what to do with why can't we get it to the best of the best that they can be, so that we all can benefit moving forward. So it's always along that line. You're done with radio, or
When before to answer your direct question, you mentioned something in my background. Basically, let me for those who know me, or really know me like so. Let me put it this way. Yes, born Cusulian, 100%. And proud, and also prouder to be a child from a French and grandchild from a St.Maarten. Basically, be living Curacao until my 17 years, after when I finished high school. And then my father decided to, for me to, why about try come, establish life and make a life in St. Maarten. Because basically, after when I done with school, I had my own plan, like, I didn't want to join police force. But at the same time, too, I used to like radio, so that was my plan to further my study in police academy as well as radio. But then plan has changed, like my father decided for me to come live in St. Maarten. So, but it didn't change as much, because I joined the VCAS and also this radio institution, let me put it like that, which I'm so proud of being part of it. I mean, I learned a lot, to be a radio host, also a radio DJ, basically, so that I really say, hey, that is for me is such a great achievement as a young person,
are you saying that
And
you started here?
yes, it was my first radio station. How I started to, because Glenfield those days used to sell CDs, because that time I used to work. I used to work where else, and used to buy CD. But then it happened that that time I wasn't working, and they told me that time they was looking for a radio host to host a QSO program. What I mean? So then I said, well, okay, let me give a shot, because I wasn't quite ready yet. What I mean? So then I came introduced me to news, and I get a couple of trainings about, actually, you can say a month and a half, you can say. And from there, actually, I start one time in the week, and then after it was so successful, then Mr. Hughes gave me two times, actually one time in the week, and then one time in the weekend. And it was actually one of the unique show, let me say, because actually it was supposed to focus only Curacao music, but basically I make it like those days used to be like Antilles, now it's the Dutch Caribbean Islands, them, and also with the Latin and international Caribbean flavor, and also, I mean, lots of interview, lots of informations, and it was great. It was great, yes, it was great.
So St. Martin became pretty much home now, but there's still some patriotism that lies
Look,
within.
Wendell, St. Maarten is home to a lot of us. St. Maarten is, for me, let me say, for instance, a home that really, like I say again, make me a man, because I learned at the age of, you could say, like 19, I already have my first apartment, at 19 years old, I had my first apartment. And from there, work, you know, um, adapt myself. Let me put it this way: myself to St. Martin. Not only lifestyle but culture. You know what I mean? And it's great. Because sometimes some people say, hey, you speak English, but you still have this accent, but you still have this St. Martin swing with you. You know, how you speak, And I remember a lady telling me, it's great, it's nice, it's sexy, so, yeah,
When was the last
So,
time you were back in Curacao?
man, Randall, I was hoping for you not to ask me that question. You know why? Um, that was the time that I went to bury my
Oh,
mother,
okay.
you know. Um, that's the reason too that I stopped with radio for over 5 years. It really because my biological mom was everything to me. And for the radio listeners, them too, my mom loves St. Martin because I used to bring her around Christmas season over 20 years. And she loved this place. She said when she come here, she used to have more uh, relax,
Yeah. Peace of
time,
mind.
peace of mind.
Yes.
She could just really enjoy the nature, meet new people. Even though her English wasn't really up par, but my mother used to have way to communicate with people. I always say it's a gospel communication. Gospel way how to communicate with people.
Yeah.
So that was the last time. Well, you can say in January the 17th will be 6 years. But I planning to, if God willing, I will plan to visit
Curacao.
Curacao. Yes, yes.
You often will have talks with me, and I'm trying to pull out from you here so much concern that you often show, at least you showed it to me, when we have these conversations about some of your observations about how things are going in St. Martin. One of the things that I don't know how versed you are in that field, but you have seen how the young people are growing up and some of the abuse that is being delivered and everything is what in St. Martin that concerns you the most to the point where you would like to see it be improved.
One major thing, Wendell, is the attention. Attention to our young people. When I say attention, let me break it down, especially to listen to them. I can tell you experience that I have with in the area that I live, which is Fort William, and I used to talk to a lot of these, especially the young boys. Them. There's one young fellow went Holland last year because I remember I met him about when he left when he was his about 6 7 years, about 6 7 years, when he was around 11, and he had a very how can I put it, like a tremendous traumatic experience, let me put it like that, because the parents then wasn't really together, and I can relate to that because I myself I'm a product that I mean to explaining well, hey, you have to really, you're young, don't leave your parents' situation become yours because it will affect you in all fashion way, in school, at home, you know, um, you don't have a direction, you don't have a direction, so you are young, you need a direction. Um, I'm open my door for you. So then, if anytime, and I explain the father, I talk to the father to in case if he see he talked to me that I'm trying to give him some advice. You know what I mean?
Mentorship.
Mentorship, correct. Thank you for the mentorship. So and the father did like that. It's been so many ups and downs for him, and I was trying to be them as much as possible. But then he told me, well, he decided that he's planning to go Europe, and I said, well, that's something great because that's gonna be a bigger challenge for you. But I believe it's gonna make you to see the world out there, how challenging it is, what you can decide to do with your life or not, who you decide to be with, or who you decide you want to be.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes a
yeah.
change of environment does make them become better.
Better,
Yeah.
yes. And I see that a lot of kids out there, because up to yesterday, before yesterday, I was talking to somebody too that they told me, hey, in St. Maarten, there's nothing social of no events, nothing for these kids them to do. I said, no, it's not true. They have so many things to do, but it's for the youngsters them to decide, hey, what I want to do. To find something, a mental way for you to um, grow your mental way of thinking, how you prepare yourself to mental what you plan to do in your future.
Development.
Development,
Yeah.
correct. So it's very important. But when I'm sitting here, I can't really say, oh, the kids them doing this because of we need to do this. But I myself have been participate a lot of things. When if I tell you the amount of thing I did with young people, you will not believe it. But I'm a person I not really like to expose myself, or if I did something for Wendell children,
Talk a lot about it.
the world of St. Maarten need to know that. You understand that that's something because I've been working on I can relate a couple of ideas I have. One of them I had to plan it to create a club. We call it a good kids club. They tell me, "Ma, the name is right." I say, "But why you give the name?" I say, "Well, I gave the name not to showcase that hey, only good kids can be in that club, and those who really not so good. I don't like to use the word bad. Bad sound too, I say
Negative.
negative, and so not so good.
Sometimes
Yeah,
we have troubled teens.
yes,
That's not bad. They can have their troubles, but
correct, yes.
sometimes they need a little coaching.
Correct, yes,
and then
so
the right
that they can
development.
join the club, what I mean? But the problem is that when you have let me say a foundation, a club, you yourself, the organizer, can do everything by yourself. You know that, Wendell. You need people who experience, knowledgeable, also caring with love and like to social with kids because you can have, but that's the main key for me. If you don't have people who know how to social with kids, and
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
is a loss.
Yeah.
Is a loss.
Sometimes you really know how to relate
You can
to
relate,
them
yes,
so
yes,
that you
you know.
can earn their respect and get them to respect you in
Correct,
turn.
correct.
Because the kids of today, JC, they are pretty much on their own to the point where even though you try to give an advice, you may not be negative about doing so, but they would be resentful. They don't want to take your advice and they would even curse you out. It happens a lot in our schools, and I know if you don't have those social skills, it's difficult for you to be able to relate to
Yes,
them.
but like I said again, it's patient. It's patient because sometimes, when the kids, we can remember, when the kids like that, when the first thing have to come in our mind, home, how they are in home, how they are in the neighborhood. Because just like we said, for instance, me and you, I mean, we not because we are person that we are entertainment informed and informed the St. Maarten community. We want to earn respect as a person. I myself have a problem with that. You know what I mean? So kids them, we need to respect them for what they are. And kids, I mean to say with discipline, um, talk to with them, and because that's one key thing for me. Listen to them. Let me example, Wendell. Example, when I say listen, let me say you talk to a 4-year-old kid. No matter is a boy or girl. Why are you going to school? To learn. Okay. Why you want to learn? To be a driver. But maybe we as adult have more into her understand that kid answer. But for me, her answer is okay because that what they know, that what they know now. Maybe in 5 7 years time we'll have the same answer. Why you going to school? Well, I need to get education to prepare myself to be somebody, to on and on and on and on. So that for me is a key to listen and have a conversation to our kids. It don't matter if they give you the answer that is satisfaction or satisfactory to me or to you, but have a conversation. Because have a conversation with kids who you can build the kid or kids them can build trust. Because I believe I might be wrong. Many kids don't trust our we adults, our parents. I believe in that because yeah,
You mentioned the word attention.
yeah,
Uh, you see that is lacking when it comes to how much is been shown to the young people
yeah,
of today.
big time
But you
right now.
have to take into consideration, and I wonder if you have given that any thought at all, that some parents really, because they have to take on maybe two jobs in order to be able to pay the bills, some of them are single parents as well, they have little time to really pay attention and develop that relationship or the social connection that you talk about
Yeah,
with
yeah.
their children.
You know, Wendell, I look, I'm not want to like make any judgment or make any wrong statement to any parents who try, you know. I mean, for the record, you know. Look, Wendell, rather you was a good parent of like I say again, I don't want to use the word bad parents, you know, of parents that really was there for the kids. Whatever the kids them do, good or wrong, parents always gonna be how you say, um, they will have a comment. Oh, wrong parents or parents them didn't have the quiet attention because we work and stuff. You know when there is one thing in Curacao they have this thing. I remember when I was a young kid. They call that familia planea, you know, a family work plan. As you have your family, how many kids you want to have, whatever. Because kids are coming. Sometimes a family can say, well, okay, we're gonna have two kids or we're gonna have three kids, you know. But it's a house how you gonna farm and discipline and how you gonna have charge and you as a head of woman to build a family. That's very important, you know. I will not say I will not see it here in St. Maarten. I see it, but how much I do see, how much I do not see in St. Maarten. That we have a very stable family home, you know. And I'm not really neither to really say, hey, I mean to say, oh, who is the greatest family and who is the worst. I'm not really the judge of that or jury night of that,
I
you
only
know.
brought that up because, as you know, St. Martin from back in the day, things have changed over time, and the demand for family and to keep up with expenses and the workload in order to be able to survive allows some parents to become overoccupied to the points where they don't have enough time to, and I won't call them bad families, it's just the demands that is placed on these persons to have more than one job if they're going to survive.
But you mentioned something there really bring a light to me. When you say parents, you know, because when you talk about parents now, how many parents? That's why I mentioned earlier, family. You know, how many parents do we have? I mean,
You mean
a
in a
house.
home?
Let me say, for instance, a home
Yeah.
with a steady parents, a mother and a father.
Father.
How many?
Yeah.
You know, do you know? I don't know. But I know
I
I
don't
must
know.
meet,
There's no
you know, this
statistics
is statistic
available.
correct, yes, you know, but I meeting a lot of single mothers out there. A lot.
Correct.
You know. Why is that? I don't know. I really don't know. You know. So it's very important. Look, I have some friends which is fathers, right? Which are fathers. And I always that's tell them, hey, you know, I really admire, happy for them. I'm trying to find the right word for that. Very um, let me use positive as what they are doing as a father. You know what I mean? Because father, yeah, I mean I always say father. Anybody can be a father, but I never was agree with that. But father, I mean to say when you have your kids, them, you know, you really have to play the role of a father. I mean, there's no book for you to study that. There's no online, of course, for you to be
It's the
to get the
manual
manual.
about how
Nothing
to
for
be a
that.
father,
You know,
really.
there's a word I was looking for. Proud. You know, some very close friend. I'm very proud of them. Like, you know, to be a great father. When I tell you a great father, you know. I will never forget this. I have an ex-colleague of mine when I used to work by Florida, and this guy, I mean, he's very, very hardworking, making sure that his children them are up par. And he had a sneaker there, you know. It was like not so nice. Let me put it this way, you know. It was a little, um, you know. I asked him, I say, why you wearing that sneaker? He told me that because I love it, but I said the sneakers are ready to go to the trash. No, I mean in my mind, ready to the trash. He said no, because I like it. You know what I mean? If you understand what I'm trying to say, you know, Wendell. Um, well, I told her, well, you know, you're wearing a sneaker, ready to throw to a trash. I mean to say because you want your kids them to wear nice sneakers. You say, you know what, you are right. You know, because a father always want the children them to look, I mean not only good, but I mean good, I mean, you know, physically but mentally too, and you try to your best to be the best father that you can be. But how much, you know, like I say again, I cannot really say there are more good father, there are less than good father out there. I cannot really say that, but I know there's some good father out
Well,
there.
we all have a role to play, and if we can encourage fathers to be better fathers, if we can encourage um, single parents to find some time more to relate to their children and have a relationship that they can better advise their children, because again, you mentioned earlier about the trust factor, that they can have confidence in us. All right, Jesse, give me a minute. Let me take a break quickly. I need to do so. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation. I'm here, folks, with Jesse Antonia, who is sharing some observations about the future, not only of St. Maarten, but of our children, in whom lies the future of tomorrow, for sure. We'll continue our conversation with him right after we take a quick break. Okay, welcome back to People's Voice for this Sunday. I'm here with JC Antonio. He is my guest for today. First Sunday of the year 2026. He's spending that time with me, and I'm sure appreciate it, you know, because we've had many conversations in relation to what I'm doing here, and he would share some ideas at times that I think is worth. As a matter of fact, there were times when you have shared ideas, and I made it a topic of discussion because the opportunity present itself, and I just wanted to know that I should appreciate that. I think you admire what is being done here on the platform to the point where you'd like to see it tackle just about everything that we can. We can't really do more than we are doing,
Correct.
and sometimes we don't get the accolades or the praise for being able to bring certain things forward, because a lot of times it's suggested to government and government authorities, and they don't take those advice lightly, because we don't know all what is happening in the back. But we want the best for St. Maarten, and that's the whole idea of
And
being able-
the future
Yeah.
St. Martin has.
Yeah,
You know?
but you can't take Curaçao out of you.
Um,
Let me segue to where I want to go, because I think you are awfully proud to know that Curaçao was successful most recently when they played a crucial game that, well, they didn't win, but it's important for them not to have lost in order for them to qualify for the World Cup. And you mentioned the same way that happens for Curaçao, you'd like that for St. Maarten too. But
oh yes, oh
we,
yes.
we are still far away from probably making that a reality. But how do you feel about the success of Curaçao as
You
a
know,
Curaçaoian born?
Wendell is something big right now. I did get to understand last week too. So where I did mention, because I did an interview to radio station Curso, that I mentioned that they should be going in the World Record Guinness Book, and it did happen. I get to understand that recently.
The smallest island
Yeah, the smallest
to have
island
qualified
and
for the World Cup.
qualified in for the World Cup. You know, This is big, Wendell, because actually, let me go back. If we talk about sports, you know, let me say half of the world, actually, in the world of baseball, no QSO. Because I mean to say, like, with most of the QSO players, them went to play and stuff like that. So it's not the whole world used to know QSO. But now with this World Cup, I mean to say, opportunity has present. The God gave us a chance now to showcase QSO in the best way all QSOians can. I mean, not only in QSO, I mean everywhere in the world. That what QSO can offer to the world, not only like in sport, but anything else, because we have a great history, especially culturally. Like we call this um, rhythm taboo. I believe it's good to introduce this rhythm actually originated from Africa, but I mean to say, like, exchange culture, that Africa know that this taboo is something that we've been played that for years. It's a very beautiful rhythm. I mean, something that I mean to say, it has to do
You mean is a type of music?
yeah, tambo, yeah, it's African rhythm.
Okay.
Yeah, you use percussionist, and we call that chappy. Like when you used to when you do working in your backyard, like we have to
A
grab a
rake.
rake,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So that piece of metal, we have to they using it, to make a rhythm tone with it. Yeah, it's very nice. But other than that, I believe besides with the World Cup, also have is a new beginning. It's a new beginning. Rather, yeah, I mean, if to win the World Cup, that's gonna be something like see to believe. But I mean, it's gonna be a new road for Kyosolans all over the world to do our part, to showcase the world out there what we about, you know. And as you mentioned too, I want the same thing for St. Maarten too, because remember, I'm half of my parents, them, my father, my grandmother, my children, them, my sister, all countless cousins are from here, both sides of the island, and St. Maarten do have talent for that. When it comes to baseball and soccer, I mean, they still have a lot to do,
Yeah.
but it will not be impossible.
Well, I think we probably might have to look into a change of approach towards. We have the skills, but we have to have a change of approach when it comes to developing these type of talent, because I think not having a budget that would support more programs, youth programs and sports programs, is going to hold us back from even getting anywhere close to Curacao. Curacao put a lot of money into sports.
Wendell, yes, it's true. For me, it's not all about, yeah, definitely money is super important, um, teams, stakeholders, federation, you name it, but the importance for me too is the dedication, you know, dedication. Um, it's very important. Um, if you dedication discipline, sorry, it's very important. You could love a sport, but if you not really put your dedication into it, after a couple of years, you just leave that slide off, leave that go. So that's very important, dedication and discipline. So I believe that these people did it over 20 years. It's a very long time, very long time. And most of these players, them, some of them, because they, for the Dodge, them, they say, well, most of these players, them, and have made the belief out of there. I mean, the world of soccer, that most of the players, them, are not full-fledged Brazilian. That's not true. That's not true. 'Cause
You
most
mean
of
you're
them,
saying there are folks in the Curacao
yes, no, no,
football
no. I mean
team?
the Dutch, some of the Dutch people them, like especially those in sports and stuff, like make people believe that the our world believe that most of the players them are not Curacao. Look, in every sport you will find. Let me put. pick a perfect example. Let me say a Puerto Rican boxer, right? He born in New York, but his parents them
Puerto
from
Rico.
Puerto Rico, but they always carry the Puerto Rican flag because I mean that is prerogative. That's if he feel like, hey, I'm born in America, but I feel like Puerto Rican, so be it. So the same way goes like many Custodians, they born there. Some of them when they are Holland, maybe when it was 5, 6, 7 years, but they born. Or some of them born in Holland, but with the parents them background. Some of them the parents them are Dutch of whatever they call it, but their great parents them from Curacao. So I mean to say you cannot take that kind of feeling, emotion that these people them have for their country or their parents them country. You know what I mean?
I
Yes.
understand you fully well. And with that, let me ask the question of whether there are some folks in the Curacao football team that uh, were living in Holland. Do you
Um.
know that much?
Um. Well, most of the if I understand your question, most of the players them, let me say for instance, um um third part of the players them are born from Dutch and Curacao parents them.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And they were living in
They learn
Netherlands?
Holland, yes.
Uh-huh.
But some of them too, most of the players them too, some of them play all around Europe.
Yeah.
You have players them playing in Dubai. There are some players that was playing even America
Yeah.
because the keeper was playing in American MLS team. Yeah.
But you
So.
can't blame them for that. They have their Curacao roots, and they have decided to play for Curacao. Hence, the strength of Curacao to the point where they're able to make it to the World
Correct.
Cup.
Because look, you have a guy from actually his father's from Suriname and his mother's from Aruba,
Uh-huh.
but I think he born in Holland. He was between Holland and Aruba.
Okay.
You know, he played for a big team in the Serie A, Italy, which is AC Milan, which
Okay.
is Dunkirk, something like that. I can't remember his surname now. He will play in the World Cup. He will play
Oh.
in the European Cup.
Yeah.
But he officially he feel like he's an Arubian, but he born in Holland.
Yeah.
You know.
So he plays for one of those European teams.
Yeah, Serie A. But he played for the Holland national team too. So most probably he will be playing this year in the World Cup.
I guess the message here is um, we have to make use of some of our human resources who live in the diaspora to if they want to claim home St. Martin as home because one of their parents is from St. Martin. We have to embrace them and allow them to fit themselves in and be ambassadors for St. Martin, not because they,
You know
they
what?
live somewhere
I,
else.
I agree with you, but I believe, let me say, when you come to St. Martin sport figures, you don't mention the domination in sport. I believe there's a lot of St. Martin are doing great thing out there in America, in Europe. I think last they had a young fellow went Italy to play basketball. You know,
From St.
yeah,
Martin?
from St. Martin, yes. There's a young fellow. Also, I understood that he born here, but during COVID, he went Curacao and he raised up there. He's in MLB too.
Major League Baseball.
Major League Baseball, yeah, but I understood he from St. Martin because when I get to find out, because they say from Curacao, St. Martin, but when I get the information right, that he born right here, right here.
How
But
do
he
you
said-
see? How do you see the effort go into us and sports program on St. Martin that can help us develop and produce more professional, whether it's baseball players, and you still see a connection between Curacao and St. Martin?
I think it's still do, but Gwenda, like I say again, is the seriousness, importance, and dedication for me. You know,
Yeah, but even if you're dedicated, JC, you gotta have a program that would help to push you even further than what we are doing here. Because if you put a limitation, it becomes such a redundancy to the point where you see this guy who was such a great football player just fall off and don't play football
most probably
anymore.
maybe he don't have the support that he expected to receive.
Yeah.
My personal opinion. because
But he could be dedicated, you see. He is dedicated to his craft. He wants to play, but sometimes the limitation of our program would limit him to go so far and no further.
Wendell, I quite understand what you say. I was talking to somebody. We was talking about the same thing about sport, and we was talking about um track. They call that track
Track and
running,
field.
track and field, right? And Jamaica, right? And this guy was telling me, look, guy, in Jamaica, for you to really, most of these Jamaicans, them like we see them out there in the world. Where do you think that they make it? The guy told me once in Jamaica, it was most of them went to the States, most of them went to Europe, like I believe UK of Germany, because there's a lot of money involved too. So that's what I'm saying again, it's the dedication. But if the dedication is not up par, it's not right, I mean the kids in here could put their effort, but where of how far they will reach here, so they really have to maybe try go somewhere, maybe Holland. It's gonna be like a official home base for them, for them to excel. But when they excel, who are they gonna represent?
St. Maarten, of course.
Yes, it's supposed to be St. Maarten, but I don't think, because that was the situation in Curacao too, when they were in Holland and do all the necessary training, but when you come to represent, that had a conflict issue that hey, you have to represent us because we dedicate all the finance and time for you, and you, sorry,
Yeah.
but like I say again, I really do believe, because Samantha have a lot of talent. I see it, and I'm still seeing it over and over again. But like you say, need to have and I won't say that Samantha do not have it, because that's here. There's a sport federation. They try to dedicate. They try to see how far they can excel. This sport figures them to represent St. Maarten, because a lot of them went and represent St. Maarten, but we want to reach to a
Certain level.
certain level at international scale.
Well, most
which
of most of these privileges for excelling in any type of sports has to do with international competition.
correct, yes.
So once you have shown that you have the skill, then there should be federation or coaching teams that would try to get you on a team that would be competing at the international level if we don't have
You know what
an
I
international
noticed a couple of years back? I think it was maybe 4 years back now, when they had the junior league international competition that Curacao went to the final. That was in
team. That's baseball.
yes, baseball. That was in California. They get a lot of support from American East Coast fan, because California East Coast and
Yes.
they don't really
Yeah, they have
do
rivalry.
and
Yeah.
stuff like that. You know what I mean? So but after when the game was over, I see a lot of guys approach the young Curacao players them, which is it really caught my attention. Say what is happening, but then a couple of days after, listening to a radio talk show, they were saying that after the game, a lot of these they had a lot of coach from different junior league team was interested to sign these boys them right away.
Okay.
So that means to say what they are doing now. I believe in many sports now, baseball, soccer, basketball. Many of these well-known sports that they want to sign these kids in from very young age. But
Yeah.
I mean they have condition, because even recently I see PSG, French league team, big league team in France, and in Europe, was in St. Maarten and the French Caribbean islands. Them they
Okay.
are going around scouting young people so they can integrate them in their academy,
Yeah.
which is very good. So
If you're gonna give an advice to a youngster, because I want to share this, I discovered this some time ago. that when these scouts are looking at a quality player, although the person might be young, they are not looking only for skills, but they are looking to see the type of behavior or the type of um, the way he take instructions to the point where he got to be coachable. I think that's the key word for them to really succeed. Because some children can have a lot of good skills, but you really can't tell them what to do. They arrogant or they rude or you want somebody who is coachable. So I think that's a good advice to share with persons who are skillful in whatever sports. That one of the good attributes to success is how much can you be coached, and that simply means follow the instructions that is given to you.
Yes, it's a very good personal opinion yours, Randall, which I'm gonna share that with you too. But Randall, it keep continue. The same answer I have to give you when it comes to that. Importance is discipline. That I believe whatever you do in life self, whatever you do, not only for the young people, but we as adults, but as we talk about young people, the discipline is very important. Very, very important because you could have the talent, you could have a skill, you could be good. But if you don't have the discipline, you're not gonna reach nowhere. And that's something we have to integrate in our children. Hey, you're good in something, but remember they have rules.
Yes.
You understand? They have rules that you have, and the first rules is in the house. It's in your house, and from your house, if you're part of any club of any organization, they have rules.
Yeah. So instilling this in our children is something that we should be doing
Yes, yes,
as early as possible.
as early as possible, as early as possible. You know, Randall, I believe, and I will die. If I die 5 minutes, that's a Martin have potential. When it comes to, as we talk about sports, that our youngsters can reach international level out there. It don't matter. I be basketball, baseball, volleyball. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. It
They
doesn't
have
matter.
they have the skills, but in some regard, maybe they need to improve on their discipline.
Correct, yes. And a lot of dedication training, a lot of training, a
Yeah.
lot of training,
Yeah.
a lot not knowing then, a lot of trainings. Need that. A lot of
Commitment,
commitment
training,
and training, yes.
and discipline. Those
Yes.
are the
You know,
attributes.
in sports they have seven, as I say, just like the Ten Commandments. In sport they have the seven commandments. Those are the yeah the yeah every
You know
sport
them
of
off the top of
athlete
your head.
prayers, commitment, dedication, respect, your vitamins, um, obedience, and be social. Yeah, be social. Yeah, yeah.
I admire the fact that you have a lot of desire for the young people of St. Martin to really move forward, and that's the right place to be because they are the future of this country, not who are the players today, because we are slowly dying out. But we need to put more focus on the children of tomorrow. And again, a lot of it has to do with what we instill in them at home. And I admire the fact that you, what your kids club that you were thinking of, have you
Yeah,
made
well,
any
actually,
strides to?
I planning to start this year. Everything where you plan sometime is for some reason that's held you back, of keep you back, of it's not moving, of it's in a standstill. But I believe that this year this is gonna happen because I did bring that to a couple of people attention. They tell me yes, they're very interested. And it's gonna be something totally different. One something I want to do besides of go out with the kids and stuff like that. I was planning to. I spoke with somebody already. Very interested person that I want the kids and start to do some play. You know, some when I mean play like make people laugh. You know, we have this adult play that you know that they do the funny stuff. You know, to make people laugh. So I want young people them because we have a lot of funny kids out there to just make people
You're talking
laugh.
about comedy.
Comedy, yes, you know, make people laugh.
Yeah, please.
So I want to, you know, bring the idea. I hope the other people will still no idea, you know, but I really want to bring that. I mean, as a first, you know, besides a sport and dance and stuff like that. So I want to bring something different to these young people so they can entertain
So
the
you're working
adults.
towards creating the kind of environment.
Yes, yes. I spoke with
That
that with a
would-
person already. As a matter of fact, the person saw me say, "Hey, what happened?" I said, "No, don't worry. December time, November, December time, everybody was busy, so I leave that time pass because I'm busy making the draft. I'm gonna start continue with that draft. You know, I have to look for all the because all the informations and ideas, not information, sorry, ideas and that I wrote on a paper, we have those people there. I come across them, so I have to look for them back so I can show them ideas. But I hope it and I do it will become reality, you know. And I have some other stuff too for the kids, them, you know.
What
You
would
know.
be your final word as I reach to the end of the program that you'd like to share with someone who might be a parent, a young parent at that, and have children around? Anything you would like to share with them in
Young
terms
parents,
of how
yeah,
they
young parents,
should
you know,
relate to their kids?
yes, you know, young parents, I believe they have to seek for help, you know, seek for help for professional helps them. Do not go and you know, people who giving them the wrong informations, you know, to put them in more predicament situation. You know, find there's a lot of people out there that they can really, you know, I mean, not any other people, but foundations, you know, that can really help these young people them to so they can be a successful parents them, yeah, in the near future. You know, it's a struggle, but I mean, yeah, and prayers, you know, a lot of prayers,
Okay,
a lot
so
of
when
prayers.
you're ready to launch and you're reaching out to kids who want to be a part of what you're working on, I'll be more than happy
Oh yes,
to have you back in so we can
appreciate
talk
that,
about that.
Randall. You know, before I go to, I want to wish the first parents then for the first baby. I understand the name is Mason. You know, the first child of
Of the new
the
year.
year. Yes, you know. So wish him all the best, and this child will be a very blessing child in the future. And once again, to thank you, I must say, for this radio station to give me, Mr. Don News, give me the opportunity to become one great, you know, radio host. I respect the other ex-colleagues. Them, I mean, they're still my colleagues, you know. And Wendell, as yourself, you know, continue to do the great because this entertain the community of St. Martin because this is a very, very good program, you know, and God bless the one who really started, you know. And yes, wish you once again all the best
Yeah.
for you and the staff of PJD2, the Boys St. Martin.
And I wish you all the
PJ,
best
yes.
for 2026 going forward. And don't forget, I'm always accessible.
Okay.
You always give me ideas about why don't you talk about this, why don't you talk about it. I'm wide open
Yes.
because
yes.
I don't see everything.
Yeah.
And I want to
Yes.
thank you very much for your input
Okay.
into what we're doing here.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that's it for today, folks. I want to thank JC Antonia for coming in and sharing the time with me. The first Sunday of the month of January, by the way, and of the year 2026. And we look forward and continue to provide quality information, encouragement, and information that will help to make all of our lives better as we grow and move forward in today's world. That's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me on People's Voice this Sunday. An invitation for you to join me next time. You take care of yourself. Goodbye.